Hello again, Dr. Dyke Drummond here with the next of our Burnout Basics videos when I'm excited because we're going to bust the last two myths about burnout. Fundamentally, burnout's not a problem and there is no solution, but don't give up hope. Let me show you how you create the balance that you're looking for. One of the big traps around burnout is classifying it as a problem and then hunting for a solution when that's actually impossible. This is a word naming problem in the English language. It's true that burnout's an issue, a concern, something we want to do something about, but it doesn't meet the definition criteria for the word problem. Problem comes from mathematics. By definition, problems have solutions. And if I apply a solution to a problem, what should happen to the problem? Yeah, it should go away. Let me give you a quick example. Again, mathematics. 2 plus 2 is what? Yeah, it's 4. Okay, done. Give me another problem. 8 plus 8 is what? 16. Cool. Give me another problem. Solution to burnout's what? Well, you're going to hesitate there. And the reason is burnout's not a problem in the first place. Actually, problems are extremely rare. Even in clinical medicine, even though we use the word problem a lot, they're very rare. So, here's an example of a true problem in clinical medicine, meaning something you can do one thing to one time and it goes away. A pointing abscess. So imagine, if you will, a boil the size of a golf ball on the butt cheek of one of your patients. It's got a white head on it the size of your pinky fingernail. It's so ripe that when you come in the room you can hear it. Whoom, whoom, whoom. What is the solution to that pointing abscess? Yeah, right. Incise and drain. And just recall the last time you drained a nice simple boil. Wasn't it wonderful? Because you slept like a baby that night. You opened it up, you drained it out just like Dr. Pimple Popper on the internet, and you slept like a baby, because that's not your typical patient in primary care, is it? I'm a primary care doctor. Our typical patient is something like a 465-pound out-of-control type 2 diabetic. She's had 1 foot removed, both eyes lasered. She's in for her 90 oxy she gets every month. And oh, by the way, when she wiped this morning, there was a little bit of blood. And coming in through the parking lot, she had just a little bit of chest pain. And I'll tell you what, you can't squeeze the pus out of any of that. You can't solve any of those issues she brought to you for a very simple reason. None of those are problems. Everything she just gave you is a dilemma, a never-ending balancing act. And burnout is a dilemma too. Let me show you the balancing act of burnout. It's a lot like a child's teeter-totter. On one side is the energy that you burn, and on the other side is your ability to recharge. Right, but we have to teach ourselves how to recharge and live a long, healthy life in our practice after we've been trained. Remember too that the energy drain is something that is work and home. It's holistic. And remember too that this balancing act never ends. What we want to do is balance our burn and recharge to keep our energetic bank accounts, all three of them, in a positive balance. Now, what I want to tell you is you can't solve burnout simply because it's not a problem. There is no solution. But you can use a different S word to maintain the balance that you're looking for. To maintain the balance that you seek, you have to use a different S word. It's an ST word. What's the word that goes in this blank? ST? STR? Yeah, the word is strategy. You use a strategy to maintain the balance that you seek when what you're facing is a dilemma. Now, real quick, is a strategy one step or more than one? Yeah, it's more than one. But you want your strategy to have the fewest number of steps possible, otherwise it becomes difficult to implement. So I always think of a strategy being 3 to 5 steps, just 3 to 5 steps. And because the balancing act never ends, you're going to turn those things into habits. So let me be super clear. I try to make this so simple. If you don't like the balance, the energy balance that you have right now, Einstein's insanity trap says that you'd have to take what kind of action? Okay, you'd have to take new action. And because the balancing act never ends, you'd have to turn those new actions into habits. New action turned into habits. You can do this for yourself. If there's anything you don't like about your practice or your energy levels, this program can show you some new actions you can try to get new results, and if they work for you, you can turn them into habits and increase your satisfaction with your own practice. But you have to start with this point. Stop trying to solve it, because burnout's not a problem in the first place. You have to use a strategy. 3 to 5 new actions you turn into habits. Let me just, before we're done, let me show you one piece of evidence of how pervasive this labeling error is. Remember that boil that we lanced? Right? Would you put boil on that patient's problem list? Yes or no? Boil, does that go on the problem list? Yes or no? You're probably going to say no. But then what I'd want you to do is look at what is on the patient's problem list and tell me, is there a problem there? I think what you'll find is 90% of the time, what's on a patient's problem list is actually a list of dilemmas. It's a dilemma list. We can't even get the name of the list right. That's why we think burnout's a problem we can solve, and that's where the trouble starts. So in the next video, I'm going to show you a 3-part process on exactly how to pick the new actions that you're going to take. It's the ideal job description, ideal practice description process. I'll see you in that video in a bit. Until then, keep breathing and have a great rest of your day.